December 6th, it could honestly hit 20,000 by Christmas at this rate. Unlikely, but it's possible. Yeah, I think a big thing definitely is just the hype and the FOMO, like the fear of missing out is just everyone sees it on the internet now. Everyone's wanting to get in because they've seen the YouTubers and they've seen people make literally millions. A close friend of mine just paid off. His parents had like 2 years left in their mortgage, so he actually just paid off the rest of his parents' mortgage just so they could kind of. He has like 4 siblings, so they could focus on like Christmas presents and all that stuff. But yeah, like there's definitely been some YouTube millionaires this year come up just from say promoting the platforms where they make Bitcoin on or whatever it is. There's so many different paths you can take just from trading crypto. There's so much money being made, like even IOTA up almost 60% today. So yeah, guys, like, and sort of a big thing that, because a lot of my friends and like people I know have been kind of wanting to get into crypto and been talking about and asking me, they're like, is now a good time to buy? Like with the price, like I feel like it's just a bubble. The price has gone up so much. And again, like I'm no expert in this. This is just my prediction. Like they talk about like the tulip bubble or the .com bubble. And then you kind of look at it and they're like, oh, history always repeats itself. But then you look at it and like look at the accessibility. Think of say the tulip phenomenon that happened in the Netherlands back in, I think it was the 1600s. Like that was essentially only accessible to the wealthy Dutch people there. Like it wasn't accessible to the whole world. And you look at the dot com bubble. The dot com bubble was essentially just people in like North America or the United States who had a broker who had the capital to do it. So yeah, I feel like the accessibility is a big factor of it. You look at Bitcoin, like you could have someone in Japan buying Bitcoin, or someone in South America exchanging it because their currency is so inflated, like Venezuela or wherever, like their currency is so inflated. So, or even a bunch of countries in Africa, like they can buy Bitcoin. They have the internet. There's exchanges. They can buy Bitcoin. You see how popular it is in Europe. Like I think in Czech Republic alone, in Prague alone, there's like 15 Bitcoin ATMs. In Canada, in the States, there's thousands of ATMs across the country in the exchanges. So I think like a major factor why Bitcoin is different. Compare, like you can't compare those bubbles that happened in the past with Bitcoin because of the accessibility. It's just completely different. Again, I'm not saying the price isn't or the bubble's not gonna burst. Like it could. Who knows? Say a country like China or a huge country, a big player in the market. If you look, like Japan or someone, they could close their exchanges and you could see the price just completely drop, like what we seen happen. I feel like it was a few months ago when what am I doing? When China essentially said that they were closing down their exchanges, like you seen the price drop like quite a bit. So yeah, I'm not saying that they're like the bubble's not going to burst, but then I'm also not going to say that this is the beginning. Like the adoption, it's still so early. Like so few, or I wouldn't say so few people know about Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin definitely a lot of people are starting to hear about it. You see it on Instagram, you see it on social media, you see it everywhere. But the amount of people that have actually adopted it and say purchased Bitcoin is very, very little. So I think the adoption's still extremely early. So yeah, I think the price will definitely keep shooting up. Again, I'm not really worried. I'm definitely in it for the long run. So like there's no panic sells or anything. Yeah. Oh, what else was I gonna say? Sorry, I'm just rambling about. I'm just trying to think of kind of things people have brought up that I could kind of share on here. So then instead of telling every single person like my opinion on it or whatever, I could kind of just share it out on here. Again, like a lot of people are seeing Bitcoin as like a digital currency, which I guess like it is peer-to-peer transactions and essentially it can be used for as currency to purchase things. And then people are talking about like how slow the transactions can be sometimes, like the fees, like there's times where was Korea. I think it was, yeah, it was Korea pumped Bitcoin Cash, so all the miners switched to Bitcoin Cash. And then you looked at the fees, and to send like $200 worth of Bitcoin was like 5 Americans. So like it's just not possible for this to become a currency because of these outrageous fees and all this. But then, and I do agree with that. Like it definitely needs to be more stabilized, and like it has to have that to be able to work. But as of now, I see it more of like a store of value. You see people buying into it because they can hold on to it, and the price is going to keep going up. Just like people used to store gold or store gold. The thing about Bitcoin, there's actually a finite amount of Bitcoin ever going to be created. There's only ever going to be 21 million Bitcoin in circulation. So, and you think of that 21 million, they say Satoshi Nakamoto has, or whatever his real name is, but we call him Satoshi Nakamoto. He essentially has about 1.5 million Bitcoin, so that's about 5% in 2 wallets. And then I'd say give or take 3 to 4 million Bitcoin are probably lost forever back when people mined them in 2008, and would essentially just do it on their desktop at home, have it on their hard drive, and then just lose it and completely forget about it because it was essentially worthless back then. And then now it's impossible to find. So they say about 4 to 5 million Bitcoin are lost forever. So then you do the math there. There's only about 15 million Bitcoin in circulation for the whole entire world. So there definitely is that value for holding Bitcoin. Again, guys, that's just my opinion. I'm no expert. Like, I'm hoping I'm correct because I've kind of invested money and time into Bitcoin. But it's more of a hobby for me as well. I don't do it full time, so it's more just I enjoy it. I think it's interesting. Like I think it's wild what it's done in this past year, and you see so many people. Like everyone's seeing it everywhere. So I think it is cool. But yeah, I feel like I think that's it. That kind of questions people have asked. I need a haircut so bad. My hair is brutal. But yeah, besides that, guys, I just update on Steemit. Yeah, it's going really well. The price of Steam's actually going up a bit. I don't know when I made my last video, but I think I had just over 100 USD in my account in Steemit, and I have 141 right now. So obviously, that's not simply just because I'm earning rewards from comments and posting stuff. It's actually because the value of Steem is going up. So right now I have 101 Steem, and then you go look at, so Steem right now, see it's $1.28 US. So today it's actually down. It was at about $1.40 yesterday. So yeah, my value of Steem, and then you add that, so my account value is about 141 US. Yeah, this is the number one thing I recommend people getting into who have no idea about crypto. It's just like a free way of kind of getting into it to see if you actually even ever want to invest in crypto. There's just so much information that can be found. So you can kind of tell this I reposted, so it's similar to Facebook and Reddit. This is my post, so like it earned 32 cents. It's not much, but it's pretty awesome. I don't know who follows football who's watching this, but I actually had to win my last game to make the playoffs, and I finished with 131.5, and Shenanigator finished with 130.7. So luckily, Big Ben, he didn't go off on Monday Night Football, but he did his job, and the Pittsburgh defense luckily got some points against the Bengals. So yeah, it worked out in my favor, and I am playoff bound. And it's kind of cool how it works because, so I think his name's Seven Wilson. Seven. This isn't really related to everyone, but I'll just briefly. It'll kind of explain. It'll explain kind of how Steemit works and like ways that like money can be made. So essentially, there's this guy named Seven, and he started our fantasy football league, and he'll make posts every week, kind of just updates about the league. So here He makes updates about the league, and then what happens is every week all the curation rewards, so all the money that's made from all his posts, he puts into a pot, and then at the end of the fantasy football year, he'll essentially just give out. So first place gets 30% of what the total value of all the earnings from the post were, and then it goes down to whatever, say 3 or 4%. But that's one way out of like hundreds of ways money can be made on Steemit. You can just comment on things. Like, see, this is a basketball competition I joined daily just to, the winner gets whatever the post is worth. So it's just random things like that. But yeah, I think Steemit's awesome. It's just a really easy, good way for people to get into the crypto world. You're obviously, you might make a lot, but like it's pretty slow earning at the beginning until you get your foot in the door. But it's, again, no money involved. So there's a bunch of other ways. Like if you look, I do trading. So I actually trade here. So how it works is it's with Crypto Agent Bot. They send signals. If you look, so it'll say buy a coin, buy price, PivX buy price. So then I'll just make this a bit smaller. So, or maybe to this side. So you go trading. Buy coins, postpone buy a coin. So I go BTC, enter available amount. So say I want to buy 10% of my total account and buy a coin. Boom. Please enter the amount of percent for which price should drop. I want to buy it right away, so I put 0. And then I would click yes, but I obviously don't want to buy right now. I think I already have. So that's kind of how it works. And then that's kind of one of the platforms I would recommend people who have a bit more money to invest in, because there's money to be made, but you need a bit more to start out with. Where something like Unix coin, you can put $50 in, and hopefully the price is going to rise to $10 or $15 per coin, where you bought it at $1. Like you look at, they're called ICOs. You look at Regal coin. Regal coin was an ICO that came out, I think, about 2 months ago. I actually didn't buy into it. I don't know why. I was lazy and just... Anyways, so you look at it, it was about price back. So the ICO was $1 per coin, and then as soon as it hit the exchanges, it went to about $10, and it mooned at 85 US, and it's trending at 40 right now. So imagine if you put $50 in back then. Back then, you multiply that by 50, that's what you got. So there's so many ICOs. I joined one, it's called Electronium. So essentially you could buy it at 1 cent during the ICO phase. And right now it's trading at about 10 cents. So it's 10 times up from what I bought it at. I'm holding it. I honestly didn't buy that much. And like, it's more just to see what happens with it. If it, like, I'd probably sell if it hit $50 or something, or sell half and then keep half. That some people predict $1 by next year. I think that's kind of unrealistic, but I mean, if it happens, it happens. That's sweet. It's more profit for me. So yeah, there's so many things, guys, you can join. I think the best way, if you're new to crypto and you kind of want to get into it and like figure out how to start or whatever, I think the best way is either just to message me on Instagram. It's the same as my username, or on Facebook or something, or even comment on the YouTube, and then we can figure out a way to get in touch. I think that's probably the easiest way, because yeah, it's super easy, guys. Like, you get a blockchain wallet, you can go to an ATM, throw $20 at it, you'll get $20 worth of Bitcoin in your wallet, and then start from there. But yeah, it's super easy, guys. If you're interested in it, yeah, feel free to message me, and then